Hello, this is Tommy, and welcome to another musical adventure. And today we are in the Music Barn in Greensboro, North Carolina. And you hear that sound in the background? Live music provided by none other than
Sam St. John.
Sam St. John. We've been record crawling today, and we've visited a few stores. And sounds good, Sam. What are you playing there?
Little JP.
Little JP. You should have said acoustic guitar.
Acoustic guitar. That's
That's the answer. So we're going to show you what we got today. We didn't really do any filming in any of the stores just because, but we're in this great Martin guitar room. Sam's doing a little picking, sounding really good, and we'll show you what we got. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, guys, Sam and I have been record shopping today, and we didn't really do a lot of filming. We were so busy digging that we did not show any of the stores, and I know you guys hate that because that's hardly an adventure, but we thought we would show you what each other got. I think Sam made more of a haul than I did, so we may not we may trade off for a minute, but then it may just turn into Sam showing his records. I'm really not out for a whole lot these days, so it's slim pickings, as it were. So the first store we went to was called
Buffalo Boogie.
Buffalo Boogie
In Greensboro.
All the stores were in Greensboro. Buffalo Boogie, nice store. You got to knock on the door to go in. Those of you that have been there can talk about that. Really, really awesome selection of records. He had some really, really cool stuff in there.
Yep.
Prices, a little high.
Mid-high, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't really go in for a whole lot there because I'm a cheapskate, but I did pick up this record, Susie Quattro. This is Susie and other four-letter words. Yeah, so this has the song She's in Love with You. I don't know a whole lot about Susie. Some of you guys, that's a loud noise, so we apologize. I think there's an airplane about to land right on top of our head. Or is that a train? It's a train.
We got the train tracks right next door.
Anyway, Susie Quattro Susie and other four-letter words. So that's what I bought at Buffalo Boogie. What did you get at Buffalo Boogie, Sam?
Well, I went in for a record that I see everywhere, and it's always in terrible shape. I found a clean copy of the debut Jackson Brown, also known as Saturate When Using.
Yeah, the Cleveland Brown football team is about to move to Jackson, Mississippi, so they can be
the Jackson Browns.
Yes,
indeed.
Yes.
This is, probably under Late for the Sky, maybe even running on empty. It's in those top 3 or 4 albums. I mean, you've got Jamaica Say You Will, Song for Adam, Doctor My Eyes, Rock Me on the Water, just, classic Jackson Brown cuts. So that was from the first store, Buffalo Boogie. And then I also grabbed, because I'm trying to fill out my Van Morrison collection.
You like Van Morrison, Sam?
I've known a song or two in my time.
Cool.
Yeah, I got Hard Nose the Highway, excuse me, one of the weirdest Van Morrison album covers of all time. The big hit on here was Warm Love, but you've also got Hard Nose the Highway, Autumn Song, The Great Deception, some other gems in there, so kind of cool and pretty good prices. And they're all these records that we found are all clean.
Yeah, we did a good job. I mean, did we buy any new vinyl today?
I got one.
Well, that's right, you did get one.
But
we'll
stay tuned.
We'll stay tuned for that. So the next place we went was a place called Soul Relief Records, and we're kind of in the parking lot of Soul Relief now. Yeah. Small shop, really, really awesome prices. It's worth a stop, and it's a quick stop because, like I said, it's not a lot of digging to do there. Mm-hmm. But he's got some RSD titles and
a lot of soul and hip hop for the people out there that like hip hop.
Yes.
Those are the big reviews that you see on Google when you search this place.
And it's worth a stop. It's worth going in. I found a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is this, Jimmy Webb. This is a steel-sealed Jimmy Webb El Mirage. I don't know this album. I do know Jimmy Webb. I know a couple of the songs on here. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. They're the Highwaymen, which most people know.
PF Swing.
Yeah. So it looks interesting, and it's got a lot of cool people. George Martin produced this album. You know who that guy is? George Martin.
He did something with some British group.
Yeah. And so there's some interesting names on here. And so worth a shot. Henry Diltz did the cover photo. Of course, cool. Henry Diltz did. So yeah, Jimmy Webb. And the other one I got here was a really kind of the thing that I've been looking for. Larry Norman. Larry Norman. Look, you're laughing at this, but I mean, the truth is, Upon This Rock, this is one of the early Christian rock albums. And those of you who have been following my channel, you guys know that I'm kind of into this stuff and finding it. And some of it's kind of hard to find. The cover is just, well, it's not a good album cover, but you're going to see worse. You might see worse album covers today in this collection of stuff. A few more, yeah. But Larry Norman, Upon This Rock, I guess the big song on this is I Wish We'd All Been Ready. And those of you who know Larry Norman, interesting guy, interesting story, solid rock records. And
that was a radio promo.
That was a radio promo. Maybe not even a promo, just a radio copy. But
they scribbled all over it.
They did scribble all over it. But either way, Larry Norman, that's what I got at Soul Relief. What did you get at Soul Relief?
I only picked up one record, a nice clean copy of the first Brian Wilson, which of course, if anybody knows the story, knows there's some questionable production credits on here from a doctor we won't talk about.
We won't mention his name, but it does have Rio Grande on that, the suite, which is awesome. And
Love and Mercy, his signature solo song.
Melt Away is a beautiful ballad.
Melt Away is pretty. Little Children is something.
Yeah,
with some of his kids.
Let It Shine, co-produced with Jeff Lynne. Yeah, so that's a cool track.
Russ Titleman is on here. Andy Paley.
Yeah, a lot of different collaborators. I think the story was the doctor did not want him, he moved him around a lot of different studios, a lot of different collaborators. And
if you can see at the bottom, this is a promo stamped copy.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
It's dated. That album is dated.
It's very 80s.
But it works for what it is. Yeah. All right, so that's what we got at Soul Relief. The last stop we made was a place called Hippo Records. Kind of a big, I won't say, a lot of new stuff, a lot of sealed. Like if you're in for new releases or whatever, that's probably the place to go. I was here a couple of years ago, but I didn't really get to do a lot of digging because my wife was with me and she does not care for going into record stores. So I kind of zipped in. I did grab a couple things. And so this time we were able to dig.
This is the haul.
Their used selection was really interesting. No, what I would call big home runs in there.
No.
But it was stuff that's good for filling out collections. And
it's stuff you don't think you need until you see it.
Right, and they were cheap. And so I found a few things, and I'll go through my little stack quickly. I found a copy of The Lonesome Jubilee by John Mellencamp, which, people know this record. This is the one that came out after Scarecrow, I believe. But, it is what it is. This was a cool one. Van Dyke Parks, Tokyo Rose.
I'm just now seeing the back cover.
Yeah, the back cover with Van Dyke on the little boat, the sinking boat. But the 89 is when this came out. I've got this on CD, but I don't have it on vinyl. This was a cool find for me. I didn't have this on vinyl. No Dice by Badfinger. And this is a really clean copy. This is one of those records that you don't really see in good shape. And as you can see, it's minor wear. It's not a whole lot. The spine looks good. I always see beat up copies of this, but that's a nice copy. This is an album that I already have, but it was $3.99 and it's so clean. And I know a particular guy that lives down south that needs a copy of this album, and I thought, you know what? His name is Sean. Hi, Sean. Gone Troppo by George Harrison from 1982, I believe. And the last thing is the Gentrys, Keep On Dancing. The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, wrestling personality, was the front man for the Gentrys out of Memphis, Tennessee. Of course, Keep On Dancing was the big hit. This is a very clean copy, and I never see this out there. And so, a good, fun pop record. So that was my haul from Hippo. Now it's time for Sam's haul.
It's time for the haul. And like Tommy said, I was going into the store not knowing I needed any of this stuff. There was one thing for sure. Actually, Tommy and I were talking on the phone the other night about something that I wanted, and we said, let's wait and let's check it out during our record crawl.
I knew we'd find it. I knew we'd find it.
So that's coming, but the surprise haul for me was filling out some Ringo. Beetle Brad, if you're watching, we know you are. Really clean copies, and these are all like thrift store prices. I mean, Sentimental Journey, $7. This is Ringo covering the Standards, if you don't know, his debut after the Beatles.
Which I think I've got a copy of this, but I don't. I'm gonna get home and find out.
Tommy was on the fence about what he was gonna get, what he had, what he didn't have. This is Ringo, Stop and Smell the Roses, $3, and again, just pristine. The record itself looks like it might have been spun once or twice, and Tommy can attest. Again, just a Ringo Starr album. Is it a great album? 1981. So I mean, that year in itself, you can be the judge of.
It's got McCartney. It's got Harry Nilsson on it. I mean, I've heard the album. It's all right.
Yeah, it's Ringo. It's a fun time. And then Ringo the Fourth, again, another thrift store site, price $6.
Fantastic cover. You guys vote. Is this a worse cover than the Larry Norman I showed?
Yeah, there's we won't go into that. We've talked about that off camera a little bit. Again, keeping up with Ringo, Rotogravure, $3.
I like that record. That's a good record.
$3. Great shape on the Atlantic label. And then this is the last. No, I've got two more Ringos. Bad Boy by Ringo. Again, this is just because I didn't have this on any format, and I'm happy to have it regardless of the music underneath. And then the big one, the Ringo album, which was his biggest album. The cover's a little worse for wear.
You never see that album in good shape.
You can see some
cover wise. It's always, I don't know if it's because of the book and just how, but it's always beat up. That's an album that you never see minty copies of.
And the book is in it and everything, and the record, we checked it out. It's beautiful.
The record's perfect.
So really, I think we took care of all the Ringo albums that were in the used bins anyway.
And Sam, you don't spin the cover, so
you don't spin the old adage. This is an album, and Tommy can back this one up. This is an album that was forced upon me by somebody who's we won't say the name of the person, but Tommy, tell us about Steve Forbert.
Steve Forbert from Mississippi, singer-songwriter, still out there touring, still doing his thing. This is an album I just saw. It's a common record. Most of you probably even have it or heard
$3.
It was $3, and I told Sam if he didn't buy it, I would buy it for him because he needed that record. I just think that's going to be in Sam's wheelhouse. Let him know down in the comments. But I think it's a record. When he spins it, he's going to be like, you know what? I really enjoyed that Steve Forbert record.
I'm excited.
So yeah, that one and the Jackrabbit Slim. Those are both like the great Steve Forbert albums and those early ones. But yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm excited, so I appreciate having somebody here telling me what to do with my life.
Helping him spend his money.
Yeah, some people have guidance counselors. I've got Tommy. This was an album that, in my neck of the woods, I'm up in Virginia, I never see this album. This is the Wichita Train Whistle Sings, Mike Nesmith. Even though it's not really Mike Nesmith, it's a bunch of Mike Nesmith tunes.
Have you heard? Who is Mike Nesmith? Was he in the Monkees?
He was in a group, I can't remember the name.
I've never heard of him.
No, yeah.
You think I'd like him?
He might be up your alley. I don't know.
Y'all
comment.
I'll check it out.
Let us know. But again, this is one that it's instrumental covers, kind of weird. From the snippets that I've heard, I've never heard the whole album, so I'm just happy to have it.
It's a big band on steroids, and add a banjo and some chicken picking guitar. I have to. That album to me, and it's funny. Just a note on this album. I can't imagine a 13-year-old Monkees fan who knows Mike Nesmith from the Monkees buying this album and taking it home and putting it on. They had to be absolutely shocked by this. I had a friend of mine that once called this the very first alternative music album, and he may be right, because alternative in the sense that this is not a pop album, but I like it. It's fun, and it's got a couple of songs that he never released. I love how it says here too, Papa Jean's Blue. Not Papa Jean's Blues, but Papa Jean's.
It's on the Dot label.
He is Blue, which the Dot label's a fun label too. But that you got to have it.
And so lastly, this is the one that I was, I was looking on Discogs. I had it in my cart, and Tommy said, no, maybe we can get one in Greensboro. And it was funny, about a minute before we found this album, I found an original copy of the album, which was beat to death. The spine was torn up and everything.
$50, right?
Yeah, and Tommy was like, it's like, no, you can still do better on Discogs. So I said, okay. And then 2 minutes later, we found Head by the Monkees.
Yeah, the reason I was holding off on that with Sam was that the Chris Bellman cut on Rhino. is the preferred one. I've got the RTI pressing on black vinyl that came out I think in 2011, which is long out of print and it goes for good money on Discogs. This one came out I think just a couple of years ago. It's not pressed at RTI, but it is the Bellman cut. So this to me sounds better than even original copies on Cold Gems. And so for the money, I just think if you want a good sounding copy of that album.
And for any of y'all that are in the dark, this is the soundtrack to the Monkees' weird movie Head.
Yeah.
Which again, to talk about the 13-year-old girls going to the Monkees movies, they're probably like, it's just gonna be a long episode of the show.
Yeah.
But let's get the beautiful As We Go Along and Porpoise song, which
Circle Sky.
Circle Sky.
Daddy song.
Yeah. I mean, it's really good stuff, and it's on fancy silver vinyl too.
But who did Victor Mature play in the movie?
Let's see. The Big Victor.
Yeah,
that's right. Of course.
And Jack Nicholson, I think, actually compiled this thing. It says album coordinator Jack Nicholson, which is kind of an odd credit, but I think he's the one, because the album is full of like dialogue from the movie, which is funny because a lot of soundtracks do that now. But back then, I kind of liken it to some of Frank Zappa's like sound stuff from that time, Uncle Meat and that stuff where he was taking tapes.
Which his name is on it because Frank Zappa made a cameo.
He's in the movie,
and
yeah.
Funicello, so it's a cool movie. I think you can even find it free on YouTube if you want to check it out.
Yeah, great album.
Head, the reissue. I'm excited to finally spin this.
All right.
So there we go.
So Sam, we got some records. We saw some stuff. And, it is what it is. So check out Sam's channel. You've seen him here before. I like that shirt you got on there.
Thank you.
So check out Sam's channel. If you haven't done so, he's got a contest running.
January 2nd. Yeah.
Go get in on it. And you know me, I'm just so random. But subscribe. Tommy's Musical Adventures, Sam St. John. Comment down below. Thumbs up. You know the drill. All the stuff.
All of it.
Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.